the magic word. Here in the secret kindergarten, the world's best show for kids is starting. The secret kindergarten radio show. Use your ears and your imagination. We're going to play, we're having fun. The magic secret kindergarten on the Revolution radio station.
Hello and welcome back to the Secret Kindergarten. I'm your host Gino. And today, here in New Zealand, it's Sunday, the 11th of February. And today's words of wisdom, thanks to Manly P. Hall for the 11th of February. Following the rules of the universe is where you begin to grow. And I think you know what time it is. That's right, it's nature time! Today we are talking about the praying mantis. There are 1,800 different species of mantids that live around the world. Praying mantises make up a small group in this species. They get their name from the way their front legs are bent together at an angle that makes them look like they are praying. Praying mantis live in a large range of habitats. They can be found in rainforests, deserts, grasslands, and meadows. You may even find one in your backyard. Praying mantis are masters of disguise. They are very well camouflaged and are often mistaken for leaves or tree branches. Green is the most common color for a praying mantis. However, they can also be brown. There is also a species of mantis called flower mantises. And they blend in and look like flowers. Praying mantis have long necks with triangle-shaped heads. They can turn their head 180 degrees. That's half of a circle. They have 5 eyes. 2 large eyes on the sides of their heads and 3 smaller eyes in the middle. They have excellent vision and they can see in 3D. I love praying mantises. Praying mantis do not hear as well as they can see. They have one ear that is in the middle of their abdomen. So right on their tummy, probably where our belly button is, they've got an ear. Unbelievable. They have 6 legs and 2 antennae. Praying mantis have 5 senses, like people. They have the sense of sight, taste, touch, and smell. Praying mantis have a lifespan of 1 year. They grow usually between 1 inch to 6 inches long. Most adults have wings, and only males can fly. Praying mantis are carnivores. They eat spiders, grasshoppers, frogs, lizards, small birds, crickets, flies, other small insects, and even another praying mantis. Uh-oh. When they capture their prey, they will eat the brains first. Ah! Praying mantis were believed to have superpowers in ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and in the Assyrian Empire. Now that is an amazing fact there. Due to their praying posture, the praying mantis was considered a god in southern African Khoi and San tradition. The word mantis in Afrikaans is Hottentotskot, meaning god of the Khoi. Some martial arts developed in China have movements based on the praying mantis. In Kung Fu, they put their elbows right in, like the praying mantis has his elbows right in. Close relatives to the praying mantis are termites and cockroaches. And guess what? Praying mantis are popular insect pets. Now, I bet you didn't think that I found a praying mantis sound, but I did. Now, I don't know what this little praying mantis is up to, but someone recorded him in a natural history museum. They had an insectarium. I know that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Let's listen to the sound of the praying mantis. I think he's eating something. Do you think he's eating something? There we go. While we're on the topic of insects, let's listen to a little story by Margaret Morley about caddis flies. It's called The Little Caddis Flies.
The Insect Folk by Margaret Morley. Chapter 38. The Little Caddis Flies. Here we are in the woods again. How sweet it smells! Let us sit down by this brook and look into it. It is such a clear little stream, with fine sand and little pebbles at the bottom. What has Nell found that pleases her so? She says she sees some little bars of sand moving about. Ned says they are not sandbars, but tubes of sand, containing a little live thing. The truth is, this sandbag is a house, and its occupant is a larva. See the black head come popping out, and the tiny forelegs. The larva does not come entirely out, you see, but pulls its house along with it, and when it is frightened, it pops back into its little stone case. Molly says it reminds her of a hermit crab. A hermit crab, you know, lives on the seashore and takes possession of an empty snail shell for a house. It comes partly out dragging its house with it, but if you disturb it, it draws back, sometimes quite out of sight. This little larva lives in a house too, but it is a house of its own making. It is the larva of the caddis fly, or case fly. Let us put one of these little sand cases in the saucer here. Please fill the saucer about half full of water, John. Thank you. Now, Molly, I see you have picked up a fine big caddis case. Put it in the saucer and let us watch the larva crawl about. It never comes entirely out of the case, you see. It holds on to it with its hinder part of its body. Its little black head is hard, but its body is soft, and that is why it does not like to expose itself to hungry larvae that might be living in the water. May says she wants to see the whole larva. Suppose we carefully break away the little sand case. No, indeed, little Nell, we are not going to hurt the larva. We are only going to open its house. There, the larva is outside now, and you can see what a tender, pale little thing it is. It does not like to have its body exposed. See, it is already gathering little bits of sand together. It seems to be sticking them fast to its body. It is really binding them together by a saliva-like substance from its mouth. It draws out little glistening threads that harden into silk as soon as they touch the water. Queer saliva, you think, but the caddis larva does not find it queer. It is used to saliva that hardens into silk. Yes, that is why the larva of the aphis lion and the ant lion made their cocoons. They spun out silk in this manner. The caddis larva makes its house of silk and sand and also lines it with a beautiful covering of fine silk. Yes, May, it papers its wall with silk. You see, it did not hurt the caddis larva to take away its house. It immediately went to work to build another. Why not pull it out instead of breaking its house to pieces? Because if it had been pulled hard enough to come out, it might have been torn to pieces. It is such a tender little thing, and it holds fast so tightly. So the best way to remove it safely is to break its case bit by bit from around it. It does no harm to break its case if one is careful. It will soon build another. Yes, this larva has no distinct thorax. It is like the larvae of the dobson, the aphis lion, and the ant lion in that respect. See, John has found one whose tube is made of quite large stones as compared with this tube of fine sand that we have broken open. Some caddis larvae build houses of wood instead of stone. They stick little twigs together, and some use little pieces of leaves. Others, again, use tiny snail shells, which, as you can imagine, make very pretty cases. Our little caddis has made a neat little house of fine sand grains, very nicely put together. Some others make much rougher houses. You will be apt to find the caddis larvae in any brook and in some ponds, and I hope you will always look for them. Notice the tracery in the soft mud of the brook. Those lines that look as though someone had been ornamenting the bottom of the brook are made by our caddis larvae. They drag their cases along and thus make the lines. Sometimes such lines are made by the little freshwater snails, but you can always find the decorator by following along the lines he makes. What, May? How is the delicate larva able to cling to the case tightly enough to pull it along? If you look at it very carefully, you will find a pair of tiny hooks at the tail end by which it can hold on to the silk lining, and some caddis larvae have hard points on their backs which help them to hold fast. The caddis larvae are carnivorous. That is, they eat animal food. Yes, May, their food is usually the larvae of other insects, but you will be glad to know that some of them eat plants too. They eat the larvae of the mayflies when they can find them, and no doubt they build these strong cases about themselves to prevent the mayfly larvae from returning the compliment. Frank has found some empty cases, yes, and some that are closed at both ends. Now let us look at this one closed at both ends. What do you suppose is in it? We will open just one of these closed cases. There, it is a pupa. Yes, Nell, a very pretty doll is this. It has a thorax, you see, and an abdomen. Its long antennae lie close to its body, as do its little wing pads. Yes, the caddis larva grows and molts in the usual way. It keeps adding to its house as it grows longer. Finally, it closes the end of its little tube and lies quite still. You know what happens next. Its worm-like form divides into thorax and abdomen. Legs and wings appear, attached to the thorax. In short, it is no longer a worm-like creature. Finally, it comes forth from its case. It never goes into it again. It does not need to, for now it is a dainty little nun, with a long, tan-colored cloak. Its cloak, of course, is its wings folded down about its body. Like the fairy mayflies, it has no mouth and eats nothing in the adult form. It looks like a dainty brown moth as it flutters about the bushes and goes flying up and down the brook. You will always find these little brown cloaked figures flitting about the brooks where the caddis larvae live. You see, the caddis larvae undergoes a complete metamorphosis. No, it does not belong to the Neuroptera. Examine its wings very carefully. Look at them through the magnifying glass, and you will see that they are clothed with hairs. So these are the hair wings. The name of the order to which they belong is Trichoptera, from pteron, a wing, and thrix, a hair. Sometime you must take a caddis larvae from its house and put it in a saucer of water with fine bits of mica, which you know is another name for the isinglass that makes the little windows in our stoves. If you are fortunate, your caddis will build for itself a little glass house, through whose walls you can look and see what is going on inside.
So many interesting insects, interesting insects. I'm a cricket, and my ears are on my knees. I'm a cricket, and my ears are on my knees. I'm a cricket, and my ears are on my knees. My ears are down on my knees. I'm a little ant, and I can lift a heavy load. I'm a little ant, 50 times my weight, I'm told. I'm a little ant, and I can lift a heavy load. I can lift a very, very heavy load. I'm a dragonfly, I have 2 pairs of wings. I'm a dragonfly, I have 2 pairs of wings. I'm a dragonfly, I have 2 pairs of wings. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 wings. So many interesting insects, interesting insects. I'm a housefly, and I can walk on the ceiling. I'm a housefly, and I can walk on the ceiling. I'm a housefly, and I can walk on the ceiling. Turn somersaults in the air and walk on the ceiling. I'm a honeybee, I put the pollen in my legs. I'm a honeybee, I put the pollen in my legs. I'm a honeybee, I put the pollen in my legs. Put the pollen in the pockets in my legs. So many interesting insects, interesting insects. If you have ants in your pants or fleas in your knees, and you feel like a wiggle worm, come on along with me and it's okay to wiggle and squirm. Now worms like to wiggle around in the ground. We're lucky that they do, 'cause when they wiggle they stir up the dirt and it helps the flowers to bloom. If you have ants in your pants or fleas in your knees and you feel like a wiggle worm, come on along with me and you'll see at times it's okay to wiggle and squirm. Can you jump up and down just like a flea? It's what fleas like to do. If you walk under a tree where there is a flea, he will jump on you. If you have ants in your pants or fleas in your knees and you feel like a wiggle worm, come on along with me and you'll see at times it's okay to wiggle and squirm. Now, ants are very busy workers, they're always on the move. So take those ants in your pants, get up and dance, now you're in the groove. If you have ants in your pants or fleas in your knees and you feel like a wiggle worm, come on along with me and you'll see at times it's okay to wiggle and squirm. Kids like to wiggle and jump up and down, they're just like bugs that way. When they get to wiggle and jump up and down, they're having a real good day. If you have ants in your pants or fleas in your knees and you feel like a wiggle worm, come on along with me and you'll see at times it's okay to wiggle and squirm. It's a good thing to wiggle and squirm. Let's go down to the frog pond. Let's go down to the frog pond. Let's go down to the frog pond and listen to the froggies sing. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Let's go over to the barnyard. Let's go over to the barnyard. Let's go over to the barnyard and listen to the piggies sing. Oink, 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 oink. Let's go down to the seashore. Let's go down to the seashore. Let's go down to the seashore and listen to the fishies sing. Walk, 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 walk. Let's go out into the forest. Let's go out into the forest. Let's go out into the forest and listen to the birdies sing. Tweet, 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 tweet. Let's go out into the backyard. Let's go out into the backyard. Let's go out into the backyard and listen to the honeybees sing. Buzz, 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 does.
And we just listened to some cool music by Nancy Stewart of nancymusic.com. Alright, we've got a couple of minutes left for this half an hour of the Secret Kindergarten Radio Show. And I've got a role-playing idea for you at home. Those of you in the world who are in wintertime. You can make a giant snow spider in the snow. You will delight in making giant designs in the snow with your feet and your body. You may get a bit tired, but large-scale designs mean large-scale fun. So you could all get out there, shuffle your feet to create a big circle in the center of your back lawn. And that would be the spider's body. And then you can shuffle, shuffle, shuffle to create one long leg, about 10 to 20 feet. That's a big long leg. You can do one leg at a time, extending out from the body. And maybe your mum and dad can show you how it's done. How to stomp your feet in a straight line and then turn around. And then you got to go back along the leg so you don't ruin the picture of the spider. You can even do a snow octopus with wavy arms and legs, extending out from the center circle. Or you can shuffle your feet to create a giant snow snake that extends from one end of the lawn to the other. And that's all we've got time for in this half hour of the Secret Kindergarten. Thanks for listening. I love you. Bye.